Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast live stream. It is great to be back with you all. It's been about, 10 days since I was gone. Whew. And I am back. This is awesome to be back with my watchmen and women on the wall for such a time as this, as we head into the weekend. A bit has happened since I last joined you here on the channel, so we want to break that down, number one. Number two, if you're saying, Stakelbeck, where have you been for 10 days? I had a surgical procedure last Wednesday, May 28th, and it's taken a little time to recover, but I'm okay. I'm doing really well now. Still a little tired, but not sore. That's gone now, and ready to get back in the saddle for sure in a major way on Monday. But I want to join you before the week was out on Friday, and I want to say thank you. The prayers, tremendous. They were felt. We have over 1 million subscribers here on the channel, and I think thousands and thousands of people commented saying they were praying for me and my family. I cannot thank you enough, everyone. So good to be back with you. Thanks for the prayers. Let's get into it. Interesting. Today, I'm coming to you from, and this needs to be mentioned right now. This is one of the biggest stories in America, really the entire Western world right now, and it directly affects Israel. And it's not getting any mainstream media coverage. I know you're shocked by that, but that's why we do what we do. And that's why it's great that I'm back here with you. Consider this, folks. Today is the 81st anniversary of the storming of Normandy, D-Day, which led to a great victory in World War II for the Allies, of course. And yesterday marked the beginning of the Six-Day War, the 58th anniversary of Israel's Six-Day War, in which it dealt a resounding defeat to its enemies. These are fights for freedom, right? These are historic, legendary, world-changing, quite literally, fights for freedom. I think of D-Day here in America, preserving our rights. I'm an American. I'm sitting in Texas right now. Doesn't get any more American than that. And although you could say Texas in a way is its own country, in a good way I say that, but we have all that, the backdrop, and the anniversary is very interesting right now because let me tell you, do you know the Israel guys? It's a great YouTube channel. And yes, I'm getting into the Hezbollah drone factory and the Iran-China missile collaboration in a minute, but this is important. I need to mention this. Do you know the Israel guys? They're a great channel here on YouTube. Well, you heard me talk about it in previous weeks that they were putting together a great pro-Israel event, an Israel summit here in Dallas, Texas. Well, guess what? I heard from the Israel guys on Wednesday. They've issued a press release as well. They had to cancel the summit, folks. I was scheduled to speak there. The Israel guys were scheduled to speak. Former U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, would be there. Michelle Bachmann, former Congresswoman, and some other awesome pro-Israel voices were going to be speaking at this event. You might say, why'd they cancel? They couldn't find a venue to host it because of security threats. In America, in 2025, on the 81st anniversary of D-Day, no one would touch it because of threats to anything Israel, Jewish, and yes, pro-Israel Christian related. Hey, it starts with the Jews, it never ends with the Jews. It soon moves on to the Christians. So this event had to be canceled, again, in America in 2025. Because of the threat level's never been higher against the Jewish people and their friends and supporters here in America. Look at what happened in Boulder, Colorado last Sunday. Literally a jihadist firebomber attacking elderly Jews in Boulder, Colorado. 2 weeks ago in Washington, D.C., 2 Israeli embassy staffers, who were Christians, by the way, gunned down in cold blood. So this event had to be canceled because no hotel, no venue was willing to host it because of the threat level. And that's in Texas, ladies and gentlemen. Texas, where, yeah, most people are armed here. Needless to say, you've got not only the police, FBI, you got the Texas Rangers. I just want to set that stage. That's where we're at in America in 2025, in June 2025, on the anniversary of D-Day. Let me just tell you, the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy would be ashamed of this, would be shocked. This is what we fought for? Where Jews and Christians can't even get together on American soil and wave American flags and have Israeli flags there and standing in solidarity with our Israeli brothers and sisters without the threat of death by jihadist maniacs or radical left-wing maniacs. Just know that's where we're at in 2025. What do we do about it? Well, look, I thank God we've got President Trump in office. He can't do everything. He's got a lot on his plate, but he's been on top of this in a major, major way. I know the White House counterterrorism director, Sebastian Gorka. He's a personal friend. You've seen him on my show. Thank God there's a great team in place who are handling this. They're trying to deport these jihadists, the Boulder, Colorado jihadi was an illegal alien from Egypt. They want to deport his family. And who's trying to put a stop to it? The left, the radical left at every turn, defending the perpetrator and not the victim. But thank you for allowing me to share that. Pray for the Israel guys. I'm sure there's probably a financial hit there that the event was canceled. They flew over here from Israel. And pray for America. This gets in the entire Western world. And for God's hedge of protection over the Jewish people here, over their friends like myself, Christian friends. We will not remain silent for Zion's sake and for America's sake, because the jihadists, the left-wing madmen and women who want to destroy Israel also have a bullseye on the back of America. They're burning Israeli and American flags side by side, folks. The two go, the great Satan and the little Satan in their view, the two go hand in hand. Okay, speaking of which, we got to talk Hezbollah. Whew, it's great to be back with you. Let me just reiterate, and I had to catch up on that Boulder story a little bit with you because, again, I haven't been with you in 10 days. Let's talk Hezbollah. Two things we want to talk. Number one, Hezbollah, massive blow. And that's been a refrain since September, right? Israel dealt Hezbollah a massive blow. That could be the title of like every live stream since September 2024. But this one is significant. This is one of the more significant instances in months, really, since Israel and Hezbollah agreed to that ceasefire back around Thanksgiving, November 2024. Israel has periodically carried out strikes against Hezbollah terrorists and their arsenal, their remaining arsenal, what's left of it, in Lebanon. But this was big. Yesterday, a series of secret underground drone factories in Lebanon, the Israeli Air Force destroyed. And I mean, Hezbollah was already reeling and licking its wounds. This is yet another blow. And I think we're getting to the point where the Lebanese army, the Lebanese military, the regular Lebanese military, yes, Lebanon is a nation state, in case you forgot. And while Hezbollah, with obviously the help of Iran, was able to carve out a state within a state in southern Lebanon and in the suburbs of Beirut, Lebanon is still a sovereign state. Now, Hezbollah grew stronger than the regular Lebanese army. But we're at the point now where the tide has shifted thanks to Israel, and Hezbollah is so weakened that the Lebanese army can, God willing, and if there's any will in the military leadership in Lebanon, the political leadership in Lebanon, God willing, they can move on in and they can maybe root Hezbollah out once and for all. Maybe the people of Lebanon will rise up. We're going to discuss that in a second, and the specifics of this very important Israeli operation, plus Iran and China. I know you're shocked that two charter members of the Gathering Storm Coalition, as I call it, it includes Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea. They're the four main players in it. I'm sure you're shocked that communist China, the regime in Beijing, is helping the Iranian regime reportedly revamp its ballistic missile stockpile. Here's the big question. And folks, we've been saying for weeks, it's a race against time. There is that golden opportunity, that unique window right now to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program. Will the U.S. and Israel let it pass by? As Iran is rearming already, with Chinese help. They're rearming feverishly. Look, their air defenses were destroyed. A lot of their ballistic missiles were destroyed. The Ring of Fire destroyed largely. But now they're trying, they know, the Iranian regime knows it's in a race against the clock. Well, Israel and the U.S. better know they're in a race against the clock. I think Israel totally gets it. The administration in D.C. right now, when it comes to Iran, it's kind of schizophrenic. I'm not so sure. I'm hearing so many reports. We're going to break all that down. Before I do, quick reminder. Number one, subscribe. If you have not, hey, we've got over 1 million watchmen and women on the wall for such a time as this who are joining us here on the channel. So be sure to subscribe. Click the notification bell so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. This is current events, breaking news, mainly from Israel and the Middle East, and from an unapologetically biblical perspective. And we get prophetic on here. But we'll talk China. We'll talk all things going on in the world, in the geopolitical sphere. That's number one. So be sure to subscribe. And number two, our partner for today, great supporter of our live stream here on the Watchman, our YouTube channel, is Magen David Adom. You might say, who? Well, Magen David Adom is Israel's emergency services system. What does that mean? Well, number one, they dispatch every ambulance in Israel, and they receive thousands of emergency calls every day. It is Israel, and Israel is fighting a war on 7 fronts right now, the last time I checked. Magen David Adom dispatches every ambulance. They control, they collect, they process Israel's blood supply, both for civilians and the Israel Defense Forces, Israeli military. They respond to every single terror attack in Israel. And there's been a lot since October 7th, even before. Not only that, every heart attack, every car accident. Folks, I'm in Israel frequently. Magen David Adom ambulances are everywhere. They are Israel's first responders. They are the first ones on the ground. Every time something horrible happens in Israel, Magen David Adom is on the front lines of the fight. And guess what? It's thousands of volunteers. 90% of Magen David Adom's EMTs and first responders are volunteers. They're doing this out of the goodness of their hearts, quite literally, putting their lives on the line to protect their countrymen and women. It's SaveLivesIsrael.com. That's SaveLivesIsrael.com. And they've paid a heavy cost. I think it's certainly over 30. I know for a fact, actually, of the Magen David Adom first responders have been killed in the line of duty since October 7th. Dozens of ambulances destroyed. Magen David Adom, as they put their lives on the line, risk their lives, their families, to go and help their fellow men and women in Israel. So SaveLivesIsrael.com, what an amazing organization. I'm so proud to partner with them. I mean, people ask me all the time, what can I do to help Israel? Magen David Adom, where else would you start? This is Israel's emergency services system. They're the hands and feet. They're doing God's work, fulfilling that biblical mandate to bless Israel when you support them. It's SaveLivesIsrael.com. They need more ambulances, bandages, medical supplies, so much more. Israel's fighting wars on 7 fronts. SaveLivesIsrael.com. A central front, of course, has been Lebanon, so let's dig into it. Hezbollah, as they would say. Okay, from the Times of Israel. Just reading this straight off my phone for you. IDF strikes underground Hezbollah drone factories in Beirut after Israel issued an evacuation warning. The IDF carried out a series of strikes on several buildings in Beirut's southern suburbs today, Thursday evening, or last evening, I'm sorry, morning time here, Thursday evening there, that it said were used by Hezbollah to manufacture drones. And they even, I mean, look, the IDF issues evacuation warnings for these towns. They don't need to do that, the inhumane IDF, but they do it. No other military would do that. Certainly Hezbollah or Iran or Hamas wouldn't issue evacuation warnings to Israeli civilians before invading or bombing, would they? The strikes in Beirut hit several underground drone manufacturing facilities belonging to Hezbollah's aerial forces, also known as Unit 127, according to the Israeli military. The IDF said it had, quote, identified that Hezbollah's aerial unit is working to produce many thousands of UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, under the guidance and funding, shocking, of Iranian terror officials. I know you're shocked. This was happening, the IDF said, despite the understandings between Israel and Lebanon from that November ceasefire agreement. This activity, the drone activity, underground and secret drone factories supplied and funded by Iran, is a blatant violation of that ceasefire. Wow. I mean, these are the numbers. This is what Israel's up against. Talk about Magen David Adom supporting them. Look, Hezbollah's aerial forces launched over 1,000 drones, explosive and surveillance drones at Israel during the last year alone. Over 1,000 drones. This has changed the face of warfare, by the way. You saw what happened between Ukraine and Russia. That swarm of Ukrainian drones, that huge surprise attack over the weekend against Russia. This is drones. This is drone warfare. It's changed the game completely. The unit, this Hezbollah drone unit, was working to manufacture many thousands of drones under the direction and funding of Iranian terror officials as part of Iran's efforts to harm Israel. And they won't be doing it anymore because Israel struck and struck hard. Well, I can't say they won't be doing it anymore because while those specific factories have now been destroyed and Hezbollah, again, has egg on its face, I mean, wow, their entire leadership's been destroyed. I think 70-80% of their military arsenal, their rockets, et cetera, have been destroyed. They are a shell of what they were. Operation Exploding Pager, we could go on and on. But here's the deal. Israel can handle this problem here that we just discussed, and they did. But you heard the Iranian angle here, right? Iran is going to continue. Why? Why would this be? Now, we've said this many times here in the live stream, and if you're joining us for the first time, bear with me because this bears repeating. How could Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, I mean, by Israel especially, and when it comes to the Houthis, by the United States, I mean, they've been walloped, right? I mean, they've had their tails kicked over the past year and a half. I mean, they should be crawling in a hole and not coming out anytime soon. And yet they continue to try and develop drones and missiles. We'll hear this in a minute. Iran with the missiles I'm going to share with you and the China connection. The Houthis continue to fire missiles, drones. Then they get hit, and I mean hit severely. Their leadership gets killed, yet they still keep at it. Why? Because evil is relentless. Folks, the source of this evil against Israel is demonic in nature. This is a massive spiritual battle. These evil forces, I mean, they hate Israel because they're demonic. And the source of that activity is the devil. Yes, if you believe in God, you should also believe the devil exists because he does. He's the Lord of this world. Sad to say. He hates Israel because the existence of Israel and the Jewish people is continued everyday proof right in the devil's face that God exists. Because the existence, the rebirth of Israel, its continued existence is a miracle. So the devil hates Israel and wants to destroy it because it's God's land. It's God's people. It's God's city, Jerusalem. So of course the enemy of our souls and the enemy of all that's good and true wants to destroy Israel. So of course his minions, Iran's leadership, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, etc. So of course they're hell-bent, no pun intended, on destroying Israel. This is demonic, it's spiritual nature. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why it's so relentless. It's nonstop. Because what else do demons do? What else do demonic forces do other than stir up evil at every turn? If Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and the Iranian regime laid down their weapons and became peaceniks, then they're not Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and the Iranian regime anymore. They cease to exist as what they were. Hey, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the Holy Spirit sweep through the ranks of every jihadi and bring them to Jesus. But I'm also realistic. And these are evil people who've given themselves over fully and completely to pure demonic evil. So do not expect them. Here's the moral of the story. Do not expect them to stop. Don't be shocked when I come to you here on the channel and report, wow, Hezbollah was developing drones with Iranian help. Iran's developing more ballistic missiles. The Houthis launched more missiles at Israel. Hamas just killed today 4 Israeli soldiers in northern Gaza. Pray, may their memories be a blessing. Pray for their families. Pray for God's divine Iron Dome hedge of protection over Israel right now and those brave soldiers, including some of my friends who are in uniform right now in Gaza. But don't be surprised because a lot of people say, when will they learn and hang it up? They're not gonna, because they're demonic, and this is what demonic forces do. So what we can do is fight right back, put on the full armor of God every day from head to toe and shine light in the darkness. We're going to do that here in the channel. In a military sense, I know Israel's doing it, fighting the good fight. Keep it all in prayer, but know that that's what we're up against. It's the stronghold of all strongholds, but it can be and it will be broken. Evil like this, there can be no negotiation with it. It must be completely and utterly destroyed, completely vanquished, or it will come back another day to bite you again. I made the comparison a few weeks ago. I'm a big fan of the Lord of the Rings series. Sauron, he was gone for a few thousand years. He came back. He was gone for it, and he had to be utterly crushed and destroyed. That's the kind of evil you're dealing with this Iranian-led axis. So, speaking of the head of the snake in Iran, let's talk real quick about this China connection that I mentioned. Okay. From the Times of Israel, Iran orders materials from China, or as President Trump would say, China, that can make some 800, that's a comforting thought, 800 ballistic missiles. Now, look, you might say, wow, it's a lot. Well, if you remember, over the past year and a half or so, let's say past 14 months, Iran has unloaded some 500 missiles on Israel. 2 separate attacks, April 2024, October 2024. Iran launched 500 projectiles, ballistic and cruise missiles, and some drones as well. So they may have a bit of a shortage right now. And they have ordered from China and also Israel. The IDF bombed some of their missile stockpiles back in October when they also destroyed Iran, the majority of Iran's air defenses, which gave us this golden opportunity right now to destroy the nuclear program. But I digress. Iran has ordered from China large quantities of materials for producing ballistic missiles, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal that said the Islamic Republic of Iran is seeking to reestablish itself and its proxy network militarily. They're not going to stop. They want to reestablish themselves, missiles from China, and their proxy network, drones for Hezbollah. It ain't going to stop until it's crushed. The report came amid ongoing Iran-U.S. nuclear talks, and you get the picture. They're ordering ammonium, I don't even know how to pronounce it, percurculate, I know I butchered that, I'm saying it in jest, but to potentially manufacture up to 800 missiles. The material is used to produce solid fuel missiles. And of course, China is all too willing to collaborate with its friends in Tehran, the Iranian regime. What do we make of this? Number one, they're not going to stop. They want to rearm, and they're doing it rapidly so that they can fight back, essentially, if and when Israel and or the U.S. strike those nuclear facilities. They can better respond. So these are ballistic missile materials. It's not the whole missile that China's supplying, but it's materials to make the ballistic missiles. That's number one. And they're not going to stop. They want to rebuild the Ring of Fire, Hezbollah, et cetera, as we just talked about. Number two, timing. It's a race against the clock, as I mentioned at the top. And I'm concerned by reports that I hear out of D.C. Now, love President Trump. There's never been a more pro-Israel president in American history. Never been a president tougher on Iran than he was during his first term. I mean, shall we go through? Eliminated Qasem Soleimani, the terror master, pulled out of the first incarnation of that disastrous Iran nuclear deal, designated Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, rightly so, as a terrorist organization, moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, recognized Israeli sovereignty over both Jerusalem and the Golan Heights. It goes on and on. That was his first term. This term so far, and I don't think this is coming from the president himself, but I am very concerned. And my friend Mark Levin has talked about this a bunch. I'm very concerned that there is an isolationist wing that is not very friendly to Israel that is around the president. Now, ultimately, Donald Trump is his own man. And I'm sure some of the moves he made in his first term, look, he went against advice of his advisors. He did the right thing. That's why the American people voted for him. He's a man of his word, and he does the right thing at the end of the day that he said he would do. He's got a moral compass. But these very vocal and very misguided isolationist voices are becoming more and more loud. They seem to have entree into the White House and his ear. And let's pray that there is not a nuclear deal agreed to. And look, I have faith in President Trump. If anyone deserves a benefit of the doubt when it comes to Iran and Israel and the Middle East, it's him after his first term, the architect of the Abraham Accords. We can go on and on. But look, stranger things have happened. In today's Middle East, expect the unexpected and pray against a terrible Iran nuclear deal, which would be similar to the one that President Trump pulled out of in the first place, the Obama deal that Trump pulled out of in 2018. It would make no sense to allow Iran to engage in any uranium enrichment on Iranian soil. You enrich uranium for one reason, to build a bomb. You probably all saw the report. I was out on the mend after surgery that Iran, not according to Erick Stakelbeck or U.S. intelligence or Israeli intelligence, but according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, that's the UN's atomic watchdog, the UN, not exactly pro-Israel, we're pro-American. Even they said over the weekend that Iran has enough uranium to build 10 bombs if they so choose. And that's the big phrase, right? Well, you and I both know they've chosen to do it, but they're just being cagey and they're stopping and starting and they're playing games. So here's where we're at. I've said this is the year of reckoning for Iran's nuclear program. By the end of this year, we'll know which way the winds are going to blow. One day, you'll turn on this live stream on your phone, on your laptop, wherever, maybe on your TV even, and I'll be reporting one of two things. Number one, Israeli fighter jets are in the skies right now, or maybe not fighter jets. Maybe Israel carries out some sort of ingenious, incredible, like they've been known to do. Yesterday was the 58th anniversary, as mentioned earlier, of the Six-Day War. Talk about daring. Israel is destroying Iran's nuclear program as we speak, or you might flip me on and I'm saying, folks, our worst nightmare has been confirmed. Iran just successfully tested a nuclear bomb. It's too late now to take out their nuclear program. They have followed successfully the North Korean model. Those are the two options. Pray as we head into the weekend. Pray. It's great to be back with you. Pray for wisdom for the leadership in America, Israel, especially. Because Israel, if the Trump administration agrees to a bad nuclear deal, and look, I don't know what's going to happen. Israel's got to go it alone if that happens. No doubt. Keep it all in prayer. It's great to be back with you. Thank you for your prayers again for me, for my recovery. I'm still a bit tired. I can feel it as I'm going here, but getting back on my feet. And God needs me at 100% because we've got a lot to talk about. So have a great weekend. If anything pops off over the weekend, I'll come to you. But until next time, God bless you. It's great to be back. And remember, never hold your peace.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.